Howdy, today we're going to be talking about bridging night vision with thermal. For the thermal, I have an Armasite Sidekick 640, and for the night vision, I have a PVS14 Elbit Gen 3 Wide Phos, nothing special. Besides the bridging of the night vision with the thermal, I have a couple of other quick topics I'm going to cover during this video, but the main topic of this video is why you would want to bridge night vision with thermal and why you might not want to. All of the footage that you're about to see is from a midnight night hike that I took, and it was about 6 miles in length, so let's go ahead and jump right into it so I can show you guys what you need to see. That little annoying gray box you see there on your left is the thermal overlay from the Armasite Sidekick. As you can tell right now, you can't really make anything out, and that's because I'm walking around in the middle of the woods at night, and it's been raining for a while, so everything is basically the same temperature all the way through until I get out to more open areas, which you'll see a little bit later on. And because of that, when I'm walking through the woods, I didn't actually record with the thermal for most of it, only because I didn't want to bore you guys with a big annoying gray block that you couldn't see anything in anyway, and I didn't want to take the time to try to match it up with all of the night vision footage because it's really difficult to do. And that's especially true when you don't have any landmarks or anything to match up the footage with, which you don't have because everything's the same color. Which brings me to my first point off of the rip, which if you're trying to use thermal for navigation, at least out in the woods, you're in for a really rough time because it just doesn't work all the time. If you're using it in a city or something like that where there's a street, you'll see in a little bit that it works okay, but you really need night vision for you to try to walk around, or at least at this price point. However, without any further ado, let's explore why thermal is actually worth your time to purchase. Now, unfortunately, with this shot, I wasn't able to get both the night vision and the thermal on him at the same time, but I saw this, I think it's a deer walking around the corner just as I came around, and we're about to see just how far away you can pick him up because I gave him a little distance to walk ahead. Alrighty, so go ahead and check out that gray box on the left there, and you'll see a little black dot right in the middle. Now that is the same deer, I think, and it's probably at about 200 yards here, and as you can tell, the fog and the rain have really come in, so it's kind of really difficult to see anything at distance with the night vision, but it picks up pretty quick, and the closer you get with the thermal, the more it's going to start to pick up. You're going to start seeing little flakes of red in there, and it's not until you're really standing on top of them that you can really make out what it is you're looking at. This is at a distance of probably 25 yards or less, and you can finally make out the shape of the deer in both the PVS14 and the thermal. So in order to record through my PVS14, I have to hold my phone directly behind it like a plebeian, and I didn't actually see this rabbit that was on the ground directly in front of me until I was editing at the end. Unfortunately for me, this is not the only time that one of these rabbits sneaks up on me by the end of the night. Now here's another great example of the thermal cutting through the fog and the rain. You can kind of make out this deer and rabbit through the PVS14, but you have to zoom in really to see him. And I didn't catch him until I looked at him through the thermal, but you can see him cut off to the side there, and look at the little rabbit on the ground, very cute. Now you're probably wondering why it is that the thermal box is tilted in a lot of this video, and that's just because it's a side effect of me having to film by holding my phone behind the PVS14, and I can't look through the thermal at the same time. Hopefully that's not too distracting, but I hope it gets my point across. At any rate, here are some frogs making frog sounds, so enjoy that. This is a quick little shot to show you Armasite Sidekick versus naked eye side by side where I was walking, and then Armasite next to PVS14 where I'm walking, and then just straight naked eye where I'm walking. I always have a white light that's affixed to my helmet when I go on these little night walks. You can see that it scared off the rabbit that's a little bit further away there, but the closer one is a little bit more brave, and so is the bird that's in the tree. Good luck spotting them with a flashlight unless they decide to present themselves though. Thanks for proving my point. Now the flashlight that I have also has an infrared setting, so let's go ahead and turn that on and see what kind of effect it has. And even with the infrared light on, you can't really see the bird, which I, to be honest, didn't see until I was finished editing the video too. But you can see the rabbit's eye reflecting back at you. Here's two more bunnies I tried to spot with the night vision and the IR flashlight, but all I really seem to accomplish is auto-gating the PVS14 off of the tree that's right there. Looks like I found myself a little walking buddy here, and I'm going to take advantage of his presence to explain why it is that I have the PVS14 circle on one side and the Armasite Sidekick thermal overlay on the other instead of combining them into one image. And it's pretty simple. When I have the helmet on and I'm looking through both of these devices simultaneously, the image that you see in front of you is what is projected directly to my brain. How it works is while I'm walking, the PVS14, which is sitting over my dominant eye, will take over about 95% of the time, and it's really the only thing I'm paying attention to. However, when I pick up something with a heat signature using the outdoor alert mode that's on the Armasight, it'll take over and the PVS14 kind of fades back. And then once I've identified that there's something that I need to look at, I can swap back to looking through the PVS14 again to ID whatever it is that I'm trying to see. Now, a lot of people have a lot of difficulty doing this, and I would definitely make sure that you can try these devices before you buy them for that reason, because I'm special and I'm able to look through all of them at the same time, but most people cannot that I've had try these. For a lot of people, that's a deal breaker, and I'm sorry if that's the case. If it is, buy E-Cody. It's like this, but good. This is a quick little shot just to show you that the thermal imager actually can pick up reflections off of water. I'm not really sure how that works because it can't look through water, but it can see things reflecting off of it, which is neat. But what is not neat is that sound of the stick cracking I heard right behind me, and turned around and didn't see anything. And again, that's because I wasn't looking through the thermal imager, because if I did, I would have seen this bunny that's on the ground. And of course, he disappears immediately. Here's a house at about 500 yards or so, maybe a little bit further out than that. As you can tell, you can pick up the lights at this distance, but you can't really pick up the house itself. By the time I got to this portion of the walk, the rain had already let up for the entire evening, which allowed the bats to come out and start feeding. You can see them on both the night vision and the thermal at the same time, but obviously you can pick them up a lot easier with the thermal. But it's impressive how well it picks them up considering how small they are and how fast they are. This was my favorite part of the walk all night, so I'm going to sit here and enjoy these bats for a while. While we do that, I'm going to explain to you why it is that thermal footage that you're looking at isn't synchronized properly with the PVS14 and hasn't been for the entire video. Now, it's not like that. While you're looking through both of these devices at the same time, they are actually lined up properly. But in recording, it has some latency issues, and that's what you're looking at right now when you see it kind of jumping out of sync, especially in some of these longer shots. So if you go back and you rewatch anything and you see that something isn't lined up the way that it should be, it's probably just because the shot took longer than you would anticipate. You can actually look at the bottom of the thermal footage and see the timer that tells you exactly how long the camera's been running for. It comes with 4 hours of onboard storage, and it's pretty great for me. I've taken this on a couple of campouts now, and so far I haven't run out of any storage, no matter how much I've been shooting. I'm probably going to have to purge it here before too much longer, though. And rounding the final corner for this video, we're going to be looking at the reflections in water again, because I just think it's that cool. If you look up in the distance there, you'll see a house. You can pick it up on both of the thermal imaging and the night vision at the same time. And just like that rabbit from earlier, there's a deer that snuck up on me because I wasn't looking through the thermal camera. And I just am not good enough with my eyes to pick up the deer at this distance. And I'm back in the deep woods here. You can see how much grainier the footage is compared to when I was out in the field. Let's go ahead and turn on that IR illuminator real quick, and we'll see how much it brightens up the woods. Keep the purple hue of that flashlight in mind, because you're about to see it again. If you look up, you'll see a purple light up at that house right there, and by God, look at how bright it is. In case you're wondering, this is what a security camera looks like through a PVS14. They use the exact same kind of IR light that the flashlight uses, and for the exact same reasons. Well, let's wrap this up with a quick recap. Number one, the Armasite Sidekick is good for spotting things at a long distance and up close that you would have missed otherwise. The PVS14 is good for navigation and identification. Some people can't look through both of them at the same time, but I can, and if you can't, you should look into a E-Cody or some completely other system. It really just depends on your budget and what you're trying to do. Remember, if you see me doing something, don't do the things that you see me do. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.